Yo, welcome fam. This is the Gen Z Podcast, episode 1, official. The title of this episode is It All Happened for a Reason, and we're going to give you some great content today. We promise you the best. We're going to give you the best. Today's guest, we have two-time cancer survivor, Tedx speaker, David Octavio Gandell. This guy is the man. Boom. And he's here to give you guys the best content. And if we could add anything, we're going to add it just for you guys. Here we go. All right, so first, I want to know, because like I said,
first we got our boy Ty in the house.
Wealthy Vibes. That's Wealthy Vibes.
Wealthy Vibes Ty.
Yes, sir.
You already know what it is.
What's up, fams?
Our co-host. Come on, he's the co-host.
And I'm your co-host, Brandon Ellis. Brandon the Visionary. Be Visionary for short.
Oh God.
You know what it is. All right. So, like I said, today's episode of the podcast is It All Happened for a Reason. And what we're going to do today is not only is David going to be giving you guys some like awesome tips for your journey, but he's also going to share with you his story about how he got here and how everything added up and it led up just to this moment where he's at this position right now. And me and Tyler are also going to give you our takes on our positions, what got us here right now. And hopefully you can relate and you can understand that it all happened for a reason.
Amen. Anything you want to add, Ty?
Let's get this show on the road. What's the first vibe of the day?
I like that.
The first vibe of the day is that you're alive. That's the first vibe of the day. The fact that you woke up this morning, the fact that you can breathe, the fact that you can listen, the fact that you can see, the fact that you can get up out of bed and go do something with your life, that is the first vibe. You just got to start with being grateful every single day of your life. Be thankful for what you do have. Because the things you don't have, a lot of it you can't control. The problem is you're trying to control everything you can't. So start with whatever you're grateful for today and then start your day that way. Don't be thinking about yesterday and start thinking about what you didn't do and what you couldn't happen. Start thinking what you can do right now, what you could do right now.
I like
today.
that. To do right now.
Right now. The
Big
right now.
facts.
Yes.
And one thing about doing that right now, bro, because I told you, bro, I'm a procrastinator, and the reason why me and Ty I feel like is a good match because Ty he doesn't even think, he just goes. He just goes, and I'm a person who I'm so like I'll think about it for so long, I'll never move, and then this is the reason we have this podcast right now because he was like, let's just go. And then so here we are right now. So I appreciate that, bro.
Absolutely.
I respect you and I love you, dog.
I appreciate the love from there, and I have to throw the energy back to
Amen. Hit it back.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I heard his story in the beginning. I met him like a few weeks ago. Amazing. So you're definitely in tune with some, high status people who have been through stuff. So that topic is perfect. And then I heard his story for the first time maybe 3 weeks ago. And it actually inspired me to even continue to tell my story and share with you all. So everything is from this, and point on is like a rocket launcher. So
awesome.
Definitely throw it all back into that now.
Let's get right into it.
Yeah.
So tell the audience how did you start? How did it all add up? Because there's no way you knew what you wanted to do. Like nobody does. Right, so what happened? Give us the chain of events that led you to this moment.
Well, it's interesting because I was having a conversation before this podcast with a few people out here. We have an audience today. Thank you for all our audience is here today. You can't see them, but we can see them. So don't worry about it. But we might give them a shout at the end. But interesting part is when you're in school, when you're in high school and in college, you find ways how to fit in to a group, to something. And then you become that. You become what you do. You become a college student. You become a basketball player. You become a track runner. You become debate, theater, whatever it is, right? In my case, I was a DJ. I worked in the gym business. I was a personal trainer, sold memberships. I DJed at multiple nightclubs. And it was and then I modeled, and then I did some acting on the side and all these things. So everything was fun, but people knew me by my titles. Mm-hmm. So when you're young, you literally feel that your titles are who you are.
Facts.
And then when you come out of it, after I go through cancer, I'll tell a little bit of a story in a minute, but after going through cancer, you find out that titles are not what defines you, but you define you. In other words, you need to find out what your gifts and talents are. And when you find out what your gifts and talents are, right here to my other camera, it's that you literally find out you are unique. And there's things that are about you that God had created you for, And whatever is for you is going to be for you. So stop trying to battle everybody else, compete with anybody else, because whatever God has for you is already yours. You just have to claim it. And then you have to believe it. And then you can't procrastinate like Brandon. You got to be like my boy Ty, you got to go for it. Because at the end of the day, but here's the funny thing about that. We all need someone in our life. It's like we never get through this alone. Right now I'm writing my book, Cancer Was a Blessing. I'm finishing the editing process. And it's like a little puzzle. I'm creating a puzzle. The puzzle is made of a lot of people that were in my vision. A lot of people that were in my path, in those seasons of my life, that ended up later on finding out that they had a spot in my life.
Yeah.
So all the things you're going through now, trust me, 5-10 years from now, you're gonna go back to and say, that's what prepared me. This man might have prepared you for your future. You might have prepared him for his future. Yeah. You need other people in your life. There's no such thing as self-made. I know everybody can make that argument. There is nothing. Somebody gives you a break. Somebody gives you a shot. Somebody takes you under their wing. Somebody says, listen, let's go for it. There's got to be somebody in your life, or multiple people. And in my life, I was very blessed not only to have an amazing parents, my mom and my dad, that taught me about faith and all these things, but I had other people in my life that God placed in my life, and then I was smart enough to listen. That's the key.
That's the key to listen.
You got to listen, and then after you listen, pray about it, and then you need to be obedient and go for it. Being obedient is the thing that I always talk about. You've heard me speak a million times. Yeah. You have to be obedient. You got to show up, man, and let God show off. But God can't show off if you don't show up. That quote. So you got to show up, man. Like today we showed up. Why? Because we know that one person is over here, and they're listening to this, and they might turn their whole life upside down and say, you know what? I'm going to be like him. I'm going to be like him. I want to know more about David and how he overcame certain things. Everything's a preparation. So enjoy the journey and enjoy the process. Everybody knows the beginning and the end, right?
That's key. The process.
The middle, the process is where the testimony's at.
And that's where the literally transition for me to making more content and literally just posting and doing was enjoying the process. Now that I every day I'm like, oh, this may be, not so good content, but I got tomorrow to do something totally different.
And I love that, bro.
And I'm like, I can just blow up tomorrow, and all the content I did before is just still cheese, there's still cheese in it. So and you realizing that okay, tomorrow I have another shot, or right now I'm doing it now, and I can still, if I wake up again tomorrow, then I can fucking do it again. Sorry for my language. I can do it again.
It happens.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, even if I don't get tomorrow, I'm still doing it right now. What I wanted to do, which is, whatever that is in that moment. I don't want to put any labels on what you should be doing, but whatever you choose at the end.
And
of
that's the thing. But is when it comes to what we choose, is I want everybody out there to understand, because remember, a lot of people out here don't know what they want to do. And that's what, most people
don't even find their purpose till they're dying.
That's what I'm saying, and it's that's why this episode is crucial, because you have to understand you don't have to find it now. It all happens for a reason. I'm gonna share my story right now, because I want you to understand.
Let me say one thing though. How old are you?
I'm 22.
22. How old are you?
18.
18. When I first met Brandon, true story, I thought he was in his mid-20s. Because this kid was surrounded by entrepreneurs, top entrepreneurs.
Big facts.
This kid wasn't even 18 years old yet. I met him at a technical lab where we were doing big time seminars, and he was interning, right? You were interning at the time? Or you were working already?
No, I was interning.
He was interning. 16? Were you 16 or almost 17? You're almost 17. You were still 16.
Yeah, I was almost 17.
And I thought he was 24. Not because of his look, because of the way he carried himself. He literally walked like he owned the room. In a humble way, he was just basically there to serve. He was there looking for things to do. He was asking people, what do you do? What do you do? He wanted to know what everybody else was doing. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? What we want to do is we want to be asked questions all day long. Why? Because most people want to talk about themselves. I know, you don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. We all want to say our story. That's why if you say to somebody, hey, how you doing today? They want to tell you, but do you really mean that? You really mean how you're doing? You're going to sit there and listen to you? I do, because in my life, I'm more of a life coach, so I want to know why I'm in your life. But when I met Brandon, I literally thought he was in his 20s, because he acted like that. He was around people, and his thing was he was trying to be like a sponge. He was grabbing for every single person. He didn't care who they were. That's the other thing. You weren't shy at all to go speak to somebody, and he was 16, 17 years old.
I was shy, but I knew I had to. It's like,
no, but in that room, you weren't shy. In that room, I'm talking like marketing seminars, branding seminars, Toastmasters, all these events. He was showing up. When I met him, he jumped up in front of the room, and boom, he just hit the room, and he just started just going off. Boom! And guess what? That's exactly what he did. And he did it. You did it like 2-3 times, right? Yeah. Here's the thing, though. We're like, who is this kid? Because he was acting like a kid. And then he summarized it, and then he brought it home, and he said why he was there and what he wanted to do with his life. And all of a sudden, there's 20 people that Toastmasters are listening to him. First time that I met him was at Toastmasters. And here we go. There's a gentleman here that's not afraid to live, not afraid to be himself. If you can learn how to be yourself at a very early age, there's nothing impossible. But Brad, I gotta give you kudos, because when I met this 16, 17-year-old man,
that's good. That's good.
I'll tell you,
good energy there.
At that age, man, I was doing stuff because I had people mentoring me. I had a great teacher. I would say teachers, mentors, coaches, counselors, man, there's a purpose for them in your life. Just look for that. Definitely. But you were like not shy, at least at that moment. And he's only 18, and look at the things he's doing. But like he said, he was a procrastinator. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, here comes the boom factor.
I needed the boom.
And that's it. And now look at him getting excited about doing things. Because last year, 2019, me and Brandon were sitting in this office.
I don't really want to think back to that, because
Talking.
It was just talk.
And I brought it, I ripped it. I'm like, okay, let's go. What are you telling me? So what exactly are you doing? And then I gave him step by step things that he needed to do, organize himself.
And please save that, because I want you to give those same actionable steps. Yeah. I want you to give those same actionable steps.
But hit your testimony.
But with David, I met Dave. I think was it through Gary?
We met at I2. There was a company called I2 Labs. It was a beautiful building at 900 Biscayne, beautiful rooftop, overseeing the American Airlines Arena, and I was doing events there almost every month. Anyway, go ahead.
I was hosting these events, but I want to start from the beginning, because I want to share with you how I got here and why. So I just graduated high school last year, July, and I didn't know, like everybody, like a whole, like more majority of high school kids, I didn't know what the heck I wanted to do. I didn't know, like, I didn't want to go to college, honestly, because I'm like, what am I going to do? There's nothing there for me. I wanted something bigger. Okay. I knew that for a fact. I knew that much. And so I'm like, I got the opportunity in this class. They said, hey, we're offering paid internships to students who want experience in real life work. I'm like, bet. Honestly, at this point, I was only thinking about the money. I'm not going to lie. I was only thinking about the money. So I'm like, let's do it. And it was like hundreds of internships opportunities. Hundreds. And I had 2 people. I applied to like 100. I had 2 people call me back. One was I2 Labs.
Yes.
The other was some bean sprout company. I forgot the name of it. But then I applied to both. I went for the interview to I2 Labs, and I realized, I'm like, holy crap, this place is amazing.
It was.
I'm getting the chills right now, because I remember that feeling. And I went there. I dressed up as nice as possible, and it was just amazing. And I left there, I was like, I have to get that internship. I have to. And remember, only two places. I2 Labs and the Bean Sprout place. So
Bean Sprout.
I'm sorry, that's all I remember. And I remember I did the interview. It was on call though. The interview was on call, and I turned in my resume. They called me back. They said, hey Brandon, we really like your resume. We're actually really impressed. We would love it if you would come work with us. And I asked them what they did, all this, but this entire time I had I2 Labs on my mind. I'm like, I don't want this, I want that place. And remember, this is the only place that called me back. If I didn't get, this was the last day too, so if I didn't get this internship, I wasn't gonna intern that anywhere. That was it. And so I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm waiting for another company to call me back. I'm gonna have to decline, but thank you so much for the opportunity. They said, okay. That was it. I had one chance. If they didn't call me back, it was over. They didn't call me back. Next morning of the internship. If you didn't show up the first day, you can't do it.
Okay.
So, I never got the call. And so before the day ended prior, I called the Bean Sprout place back. I'm like, hey guys, do you guys have the position still open? They said, oh no, I'm sorry, we gave it to someone else.
Ooh.
Can you believe that, bro? They gave it to someone else. And then so I'm like, all right, I'm done. I lost it all. I had one opportunity, I missed it. The morning of the internship, I got an email from I2 Labs saying, "Welcome interns. Please be at the internship site at 9 o'clock." I woke up at 8:40.
Come on.
At 8:40, bro, I had 20 minutes. I jumped out the bed, got ready. I didn't have a car, so I had to find somewhere. I couldn't take bus. It was going to take way too long.
You still don't have a car.
I do have a car.
Oh, you have a car now?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. He has a car now.
So, I ran to my mom, to my sister. My family's hardcore. Like, it would be a heaven miracle if they did something for you. So I'm like, call me an Uber right now. No negotiations. Call me right now. And so, like, I bothered my mom. They called me the freaking Uber. I ended up being 30 minutes late to the place.
But you were there.
But I was there.
Show up.
But guess what? I was actually early. Everybody there was waiting an hour, and the guy never showed up. So I waited an additional 30 minutes for the guy to show up. So I wasn't even late. I was like more than on time.
And what's the name of the podcast?
The Gen Z podcast.
And what's the title of this one?
It all happened for a reason.
It all happened for a reason. You see where he's going with this?
It all happened for. It lined up so perfectly.
I would never have met him.
I would never have met Ty, him, Markel, nobody. Melissa. Shout out to Melissa. Shout out to Monica. All y'all. I would never have met anybody if it wasn't for that one series of events, bro. And I'm getting chills right now.
The things that happen. Here's what it is. So it all happens for a reason, right? And then he gets the email the morning of, bugs his parents to get an Uber because he doesn't have a car, still shows up. Listen, that means that he had multiple chances not to show up. Mm-hmm. Get that. On your way home, you'll get that. You have multiple chances to not show up. He could have given up, but he still showed up. And because of that, he got the internship. Because of that, I met him. Because of that, we've been in contact ever since. And because of that, we're here today doing this amazing podcast for your generation.
And because of that, I know what I want to do. I want to help you guys like I helped me. Like everybody around me helped me. Like, because I know, like, this time period, being a Generation Z, you're so young. Everybody has big dreams, and, you know, but we don't want them to get crushed. And that's what I'm here to stop. You cannot, bro. If you got something, then go get it. Like, for real. That's why this is a community. I want everybody to know this. This is a community. I'm going to start a Facebook group. I'm going to start, like, movements. I don't care, bro. This is going to be a freaking move. This is going to be huge.
Amen.
Like, you guys, we're going to do this, bro. Ty, give me something to add, bro.
What?
I know you want to add something. Let's go. Come on.
Oh, he's waiting.
He's waiting. He's like,
I watched him, and when I watch him, he's analyzing everything, and then he blows up. It's just crazy. I've seen him now multiple times. Anyway, go.
Yeah, I would give him your story, bro. Give him your story.
I'm not too sure what story to really give, and a story like that, I'm not too sure if I should be even sharing that one at the moment.
Hey, no filters, bro.
It all happens for a reason.
Yeah, it all happened for a reason.
So something that relates to that.
It all happened for a reason. Me even pulling up today, right? So, I came up here 30 minutes. Actually, this is what I did. I came up here 30 minutes early. Wanna know why?
Why?
Because I wanted to make sure I wasn't sending you off. I wanted to make sure I wasn't sending you off. Right? And I was coming here like 50 minutes away. And I got up, I got ready, I got dished. And I just showed appreciation for you all's time.
Amen.
And you know what?
So I want to start off with that.
I apologize. You know what? Let me apologize to you, bro, because I did show up late, and you doing all that, and I had the nerve to show up late. I apologize for that, bro. I'm serious. You might not think I'm for real, but I'm so serious, dude. I apologize for that. It won't happen again.
Okay. So I love y'all.
Amen.
I love y'all out there. And number one, your time is very limited here. Yeah. So use every second as as efficient as possible. But now let's talk about it all happened for a reason.
Don't say it like that.
So quick story that just happened to me this last week. I have an Airbnb business, so I book people for spaces, and one of the guys that I did business with gave me a space to fill up. So lately, when I first started, I did not have enough space for the amount of people that was hitting me up to
wow. That's a good problem to have.
That's a good problem to have.
You're gonna have a good problem. That's it.
Okay, and then so I have a lot of people, so I'm trying to find other people to figure it out. And that was my first month. And then the guy came back to stay in his Airbnb, so I didn't have that space, but I still had other spaces to fill people in for this next month. Anywho, story goes on. I needed some money to pay for advertising campaign.
Okay.
And this advertising campaign is the one that's going to literally test my YouTube advertising skills with a whole different industry.
Come on.
So what happened was, legit. What happened was, someone booked me for Airbnb for literally the exact same amount of money that I needed.
That you needed.
For the ad campaign. But I didn't have any space. The guy comes knocking on my door, knock, about like, I don't know, 9 a.m. He's like, yo, I'm leaving tomorrow and you can have this space for the next couple of days. And literally all that happened, and I already was grateful because now I wake up every single day in the, okay, God got me amazing, in the future. When I came out the womb, I was amazing. I come from the mindset of that every single day, and if you do, then you will obviously have things happening for you in the right reasons, in the right time frame. Everything is going right, regardless if you think it's
the end of the world.
Yeah, end of the world or whatever. So it's always possibilities. It's infinite. So just create and be amazing, and that's my story for today on the Gen Z podcast. Is Wealthy Vibes Ty, and I appreciate y'all listening, fam.
We really appreciate y'all. We want to say that we really want to make that important. And just honestly, Ty shared like a little bit of it.
Yeah.
He didn't share the real thing, but it's okay. We're not there yet. I get it. But
it might come later. You never know. Might inspire him to share.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But understand that, bro. It's the same thing with him. Somebody literally gave you their space, right?
Right.
Can you? Who gives somebody their space? I don't understand.
It was meant
to be, bro. And honestly, I told Ty this already, but I honestly think Ty was made to shine. I'm being honest.
I believe
I'm being honest because the way you operate, bro, is just not only do you just go, but you could tell a path is paving itself for you, bro. And the fact that you're taking every opportunity to do it, it shows that you're like, I don't want to say chosen one because I don't want you feel me? Because no, seriously. Because I think of myself as a chosen one too. I think of myself as different in a way. You feel me?
Facts.
And so I think that's what it is. But I don't feel like it's different. It's just that we all have that aspect where some of us bring it out more than others. And I feel like you bring it out a lot more than everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that I respect that, bro.
Absolutely love. It takes real recognize real. First of all, y'all. Absolutely.
100%. And I really appreciate David, bro, man.
He's bigger than he looks, trust me.
Honest, dude, this is because really you really helped me out a lot, and you've been here through thick and thin, bro. And he's been on my side from day one. He's been trying to help me everywhere. Like
you said, when you recognize something, you recognize talent, you recognize somebody that's actually going out and doing something. The biggest thing that I think people, this is any age, we don't ask. Okay. We're waiting till somebody comes in and said, boom. No, you need to ask sometimes. You need to be bold. And that's why, remember what I said about Brandon? He said he was shy, but he wasn't shy in that room. Yeah. And that's the thing. He was asking everybody what they did and how he could help, how he could serve. Because he was there as an intern, but he was there as an intern to another company. And then we invited him. Gary invited you to be part of our events.
Gary's dope.
And Gary. Hey, shout out to Gary. You're awesome, man.
Gary is cool.
Yeah, we were hanging out only yesterday. We have some big plans, But I wanted to share this, going off what he said. I wrote this yesterday. Today, face any problem knowing the outcome will be a blessing. Walk with provision knowing you are prepared. Live with purpose knowing you are determined to have a meaning. So what he was trying to say is every day, just look for that positive, look for the blessing. In others, walk out knowing that you have been created for something, but if you don't go for it, you'll never find out. It's like a treasure. Go look for the treasure. Go see what the heck it is. But the funny thing is, it's not out there, man. It's right here. It's right here, man. It's all right there. It's all right there.
Oh, God.
So, but I appreciate the fact that you have 3 generations right here. From being in the 18, the 20s, whatever I am, and we just, we all have to kind of be there for each other because again, we look at people that have done things and we figure out how to do our thing because they give us hope. My story is to give people hope. You know that.
Yeah, I've been through that from day one, bro. And my story is not like it's not a story, but I
Don't
guess
compare. Don't compare.
No, not my purpose is, I guess, what I believe, and this is what I feel, is to help people find a way as I'm finding my own way. And that's why I created all of this. That's why I feel so passionate about like the Gen Z podcast, because this is just the beginning.
This is the Gen Z podcast with
Gen Z
Ty and Brandon.
And this is just the beginning, bro. I really want to bring all of us together, because once you understand that when we all come together, it's not even a power. At this point, it's like, what's the word I'm looking for?
You're looking for what Gary always says. He talks about the binary star.
We do luxury.
When people come like this and you just make it bigger.
You just make it bigger. And it's like invincible. We become invincible. Like, it's like that type of thing. And that's why I feel so strongly about that.
Yeah, that, and I'll say this, like, it's funny how my life was. I thought I was invincible for 29 years of my life, and then I get cancer. And it basically stops everything.
It's a test.
And then I get told I was terminal. So, and I share that because it's really the reason I'm alive, is to share my story. My story revealed my purpose, and your story will reveal your purpose. So always look at what you've actually gone through in life, and you'll find purpose in it. But what's interesting is, like, now I feel really invincible, because now it's like I'm not afraid to die. I know that my time I'm living a bonus life. So now it's like I know God's got me, like, what Ty said earlier. And I know that whatever God wants out of my life, I'm ready, because all I did was I made a promise to say, God, heal me, and I'll tell your story. And I've been consistently telling my story for the last 13 years. I'll be 13 years cancer-free, July 11th of this year, God willing. And so right now, whatever day I have, it's a gift, and people take it for granted every day. And you got to unwrap that gift, man. Why would somebody give you a gift and you leave it under the tree? Like, seriously. Like, why would you take a gift and put it in the closet? Right? So a day is full of so many adventures. This is what I love about this guy. Sorry, he's not a kid, but he's a guy. But it's interesting. Every time I've seen him, or every time I hear, there's people that know him that tell me about him. And I said, oh no, I met him. I got you. I know exactly what you're talking about. He knows this gift, and he's unraveling every day as a new adventure. And he's just enjoying it. I'm telling you, he enjoys the process so much that I got people that are in the high places and said, he keeps showing up. And I'm like, I know who he is. Don't worry, you don't got to tell me. It's like they're trying to tell me, his greatness. I said, no, you don't got to tell me. When I hear about Brandon, from the people I work with in the past, they tell me how he's always showing up. He's always there. He wants to learn. He told me, he's asking questions. How do I do this better? What do you need me to do? I've done events with him, right? We've done events together that nobody else showed up to do, and we did it. And then people showed up, and we were like, thank God, thank God, it's together.
Thank God.
Thank God, because we were like, nobody was there at the time that we're supposed to be there, and within 30 minutes, it was like 10 people showed up. But we were prepared.
We were.
Because we just kept looking at each other, say, just get it done, right? And the people that were supposed to help us didn't help us, but it's okay. We're not mad at you. We did it. We
love you.
We love you.
So the thing, I think the biggest thing for Brandon, when he's listened to my story in so many variations, from business seminars to inspirational seminars to my testimony. And I think the reason he says, David, it happened for reasons, because it did. Like, everything about my life was God was preparing me through my gifts and talents, until one day he's just like, okay, you think that you were a TV host or a fitness show host, or you modeled, or you ran businesses, or you did all these things. Technical difficulties.
Just turn the power off, man.
So you think you have all these talents, and it's like, what do you have all these talents for? And then God calls and is like, no, man, I was just making sure that you could do the things I needed you to do.
Facts.
Now, I'm going to use all those gifts and talents. I'm going to put you on a fitness show, and you're going to tell your story. I'm going to put you at a fashion show, you're going to tell your story. I'm going to put you in churches, and you're going to speak there. I'm going to put you in schools, and you're going to motivate kids that some of these kids, like, look at my story, and they're in awe, because what God did is such a miracle. Everything about my case, everything about my testimony is like, man, I had to lose 57 pounds in 3 weeks. I had to go through 98 chemotherapies. I had to do a 12-hour surgery. Talk about extremes. I mean, seriously, everything was an extreme. Oh my God, really? But here's the thing. I look back now, 13 years from my cancer picture, right? And I'm like, wow, it had to happen that way. It had to, because if not, people wouldn't listen to me. You get that? Things in your life have to happen drastic sometimes, so then people can listen to you. Remember, it's not that you are choosing anything. God is choosing you to do something very specific. Few are chosen. The Bible talks about a few are chosen. If you're chosen, step forward, man, and do it. That's the thing. Step forward. If you're chosen, anybody, if you play in a school, did you play basketball or anything? And you guys have to pick each other. You guys ever do that? Pick each other, right?
Oh, me.
And then there's always that last guy that didn't want to get picked, but he had to get picked because you had to play 5-on-5, right? Okay. So you know what's funny about what my life did? So I wasn't that good in I want to say middle school, whatever, because in Puerto Rico we play baseball.
Right.
That's what we play in Puerto Rico, right? We run and we play baseball. Basketball, football wasn't really a thing, right? Mm-hmm. And in our school, it was about baseball, man. We played baseball. I don't know if you guys did this. We put the little cups together and we put them together, and cup after cup after cup, and we made a ball, and then we hit them with our hand, and then and then you make bases out of whatever, right?
Yeah.
And we come home with our holes in our pants and our knees because we slide when we're not supposed to on cement. All this crazy stuff. But here's the thing, you have to get picked. So then I'm in middle school. You have to get picked. If not, you don't play, man. You're in the sideline.
It's not right.
And then here's the thing, and then you don't go home. You sit there for 2 hours waiting for everybody to play. Like, how dumb are we? We waste 2 hours of our day. So I said, you know what? I'm going to plastic free throws. I'm going to start practicing free throws. I don't know. It came to me. So I'm every day practicing free throws. Why? Because you remember what happened. How do you pick captains?
Who makes the
first two shots?
Yeah.
Oh, me.
So guess what? I was going to be captain.
Oh, me. Perfect.
So then I had to pick. So think about your life. What in your life can you do to become that leader, to become the captain? So then you don't got to wait on anybody to choose you. So you can choose.
Preach!
You can be the chosen one. You can be the one that's actually say, okay, no, I'm going to build my team, right? But that doesn't really happen because most people are just waiting to be picked. He's not waiting to be picked.
No,
he goes right in front. What's my turn? I got you. I'm already. He don't even wait sometimes. He'll just stand in the front of the room waiting. Okay, I got a spot. I'm just going to go and talk.
Boom.
Boom. And he'll wake you up too. So what I'm saying is this, that little experience happened middle school. See what I'm saying? And then later on in life, look at me talking about it now. Because those things in middle school, junior high, high school, college, or entrepreneurship, or internships, or anything you do, there's lessons there that become life lessons later. But here's what happens. You build your character and who you are if you start being obedient and finding a way to become the leader and not be the one getting picked or picked on.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't be picked on. Be the one that gets to pick. So that's just a little bit of a piece.
Don't be a bully either. Don't be a bully.
Yeah,
either.
don't pick on nobody. No. Pick people.
Yeah. There you go. All right, so I want to wrap it up, but before I do, I want you is there any like you said, I saved the actionable tips so you can give to them. Is there anything like an actionable path that they can just cut this video off, they're done, they can do right now, like right this moment?
Yeah, I mean, I
have one too.
Go ahead, Ty. Go ahead.
First, one thing you can absolutely do, and it's a technique that I've given a lot of the guys that come around that's kind of afraid to approach women, is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go do it, and then attack whatever that thought is without even thinking anymore. Mm-hmm. Boom. So count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, and if you've never seen that video, it's Mel Robbins. She is actually the top female sought-after speaker in the world. Okay. Mel Robbins has done many TED Talks on this, but what made her come out was the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I had the blessing of being invited to her seminar here in Miami, and I had a blessing of sharing my story with her. I'm still in contact with her. She has a TV show right now. It's just you got to figure out what station or what way to watch it. But her thing was that she's a mother, she's a wife, she has all these things. And she also talks about how if we hit the snooze button, it takes us an hour, hour and a half to actually, our brain to actually wake up. If we go back to sleep after we wake up. So that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 was get up, and after you get up, your body will start coming, like your brain will follow your body kind of thing. So if you ever get a chance to listen to that, it's Mel Robbins. She's an amazing speaker, but she's somebody I got to meet her in person, and I'll tell you, one of the most humble people, because she took her time to listen to my testimony after she spoke. And I'm still following her. I think she's an amazing speaker. Yeah.
So what about, did you give your actionable tips?
No, so I mean, with me, my message has always been very simple. It's find hope, have faith, live with purpose, and be a miracle in someone's life. So I came to that through my cancer story. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. I survived, I was given 3 days to live, and 98 chemotherapies, 12-hour surgery later. Now you see what I'm doing, and I've been doing this now for 13 years. So when people see what you're doing, is be consistent. So one of the things that I will tell you is whatever you're doing, be consistent. In other words, you find your path, like Ty has found his path, be consistent. Like he said earlier in this podcast, he's talking about, hey, I'm doing this today. If it doesn't happen today, it's okay. Tomorrow it can still blow up. So he's going to keep being consistent. I had that, I didn't know really what that really meant until I was coaching this young lady for about 3 years. I was listening to her. She's in California. Her mom was dying of ALS. And she asked me some questions, and she wrote an article about me. And what she said to me was, David, I'm a Christian, she's not a Christian, but she believes in a higher power. But we had this amazing conversation how two people from different beliefs can still love each other, can still love on each other, can still be there for each other, can still listen to each other. And I think that's the thing that I loved about that story that God can show me, is that we don't need to divide. We need to come together and just respect each other for what we do. But what she said to me, David, what I respect about you, what I admire, is your consistency. I've only known you for 3 years, but you've been doing this for over a decade, and your message is very consistent. So make sure that what your message is always consistent. Second, obedience. Be obedient. Make sure that when something comes up, like you feel like, hey, I need to go somewhere, I need to go see somebody, I need to show up at this event, I need to go do this, I need to go work out, I need to eat better, I need to do whatever. Figure out those things in your life. Remember, wellness is not just physical. Wellness is spiritually, mentally, and physical. Okay? So you got to have all of it, right, to be healthy. When you have health, wellness.
I agree.
So remember to be obedient. Maybe you eat better for a little while. Maybe you start drinking more water, or maybe do certain things. So there's a lot of those things. So obedience can be into any factor of your life. Consistency, obedience, and I'll finish with prayer. He knows this. I say this all the time. I pray about every single thing I do. I pray about doing this today. I pray about saying yes. I pray about saying no. I pray about, showing up. I pray about not showing up. So for me, everything starts with prayer. And here's the thing. You'll know
Grateful.
what you're supposed to do. You'll know. Like, you don't even have to ask. And you ask the universe. No. You pray, say, God, guide me. Whatever it is, and then you'll know exactly what you're supposed to do. Now you have to be obedient, and then you have to be consistent, right? So I think prayer is very important. If you meditate, you do whatever, that's okay. I respect it, absolutely, because everybody comes to that in their own way. I get it. For me, it's my scripture. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength, because if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here today. If it wasn't for the promise I made, I wouldn't be here today. Amen. If it wasn't for His strength in my life, I wouldn't have gone up and worked out at 128 pounds and gone to the gym and started eating and working out 4 weeks after my 12-hour surgery, and do the things that I did were all crazy. But here's the thing. If people call you crazy, thank them. Seriously. Because you're looking at somebody that everybody called crazy. God proved everybody wrong in my life.
I'm crazy.
Absolutely. Because if you're insane, what is the definition of crazy? Can I share one more thing? I was at a Bitcoin conference for the last 3 days. Bitcoin. I don't know if you know what that is. I didn't know what that was.
I'm actually interested in what you're about to say.
Yeah. Go ahead. So I'm at a Bitcoin conference. Blockchain, Bitcoin, wallet. These terminology that I had no idea. I've only listened to one person that made sense about
exactly.
it. And I show up at this conference, and I find out that I have a group of friends, acquaintances, that are big into this. And I find them at this event. And they're like, whoa, David, that's so great you're here, because I was thinking about your nonprofit, and I'm thinking about how I put my Bitcoin, how do we come into the space of nonprofit and Bitcoin and fund your dreams and fund, children with cancer and do all these amazing things. And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy, because I'm not showing up to find out what I'm doing here. But here's the funny thing is, Bitcoin, blockchain, if you don't know what it is, Google it. It's out there. It's like the internet in 1994 and 95 when nobody understood what it was. And nobody believed in it. What is this internet thing? And now look what the internet is. Look what Google is. Look what Apples and apps and this and those and iPhones and all these things that people were talking about in 1994. We're doing it now to an nth degree. So people were crazy, but they're not crazy now. Now they're genius.
Get with the times.
And now you're looking at Bitcoin and looking at blockchain, and now it's been, 10 years?
A lot. Yeah.
Right? Something like that. Guess what? Whatever it is, it's working. It's happening. I got people buying houses on this and doing all kinds, and they're buying it. It's theirs. And they're selling it. And it was like $13 a Bitcoin. Now it's $9,000 a Bitcoin. It's like the stock market. I don't know how to explain it. So please, if you're into it, please do not come at me, because I don't know. But here's what I do know. That everybody, whoever created that 10-page thesis or whatever about Bitcoin and try to explain how they were going to secure this, secure that, and have all that, do you not think that he was called crazy? And the people now that are doing this are still being called crazy? But here's the thing. If it's something you truly believe in and you're passionate about and it makes sense to you, that's what you're meant to do. Be consistent. They're not stopping.
Take that one.
So I'm sharing with you something from the outside that to me it still doesn't make sense. But guess what? I see it's working. Now make sure that whatever it is, do your research. Make sure you find out how to do it right. Make sure you find out somebody that can teach you, somebody that believes, in this stuff has been good at it. In other words, you know what I'm saying?
And that just comes with getting out there. Really, like you have to talk to people. And wait, but I want to give an actionable tip. Well, one actionable tip that I know works because Ty did it, you did it, and I did it. Is what you can do is as soon as you're done watching this, just go to something called Eventbrite. I'm sure you know what it is. If you don't, look it up. Go to Eventbrite, download the app, go on the website, doesn't matter. Look for networking events around your area, bro, and come dressed sharp, man, because people are going to automatically judge. You only have one time to make a first impression. Talk to as many people as possible. Just go. You have to get out there because that's number one. If you don't talk to people, then how could you hope, because nothing's self-made. So how could you hope to get on your own if you don't talk to people? That's my actionable step. That's what you can do right now. And if you don't do it, then you have no excuse. You're not gonna get anywhere. I'm sorry.
And if you in Miami, come slide on me, kids.
You already know what it is.
So Eventbrite and Meetup. Those are two of the largest ones. You can just put in the tagline. For me, I always tell my women empowerment. You can find me. I have all the seminars. I have the meetups. Women living with purpose is my meetup. But I mean Toastmasters. You got you have your event.
Success Talks.
Sin.
You got
social networking. Global Speakers Academy.
Networking.
Well,
you have all of that.
You have all these things to find ideas and find confirmations on what you're trying to do in life. That's what we're doing. We gotta figure out how to do that. But again, motivation is one thing. Inspiration is another. So I hope that I inspire people to live their purpose. I don't want them to be motivated, because motivated can last 24 hours. You can motivate yourself. You can pump up yourself every single morning before you go to work. And then you get to work, and if you don't like your job, what's going to happen? Within an hour, you're back to being you.
Mm-hmm. You're going to be dead.
It's like, what the heck? What am I doing with my life? So be sure that you inspire people. And you inspire by telling them truth, by telling them facts. By telling them what you're living your life, by telling them, listen, you're 18 years old, internships, this, that. Listen, these two men have been in front of people that people pay thousands of dollars to sit for 1 minute. For 1 minute, thousands of dollars. And they get to meet these people and call them by their first name and have their cell phone. Why? Because they showed up.
Because they showed up.
So if you show up,
That's a fact.
God shows out, boy.
It's a fact.
All right, one more thing before we go, because we out of time.
I want to get real quick. When you heard my story, what did it make you feel?
It made me, well, first of all, it gave me like this soft feeling, like, wow, that's insane. Like, and he's still here today, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, you know, like it gave me a reason to go, because like, why am I still here? You know what I mean? And it motivated me, but is like motivation that lasts, because it's motivation that makes you look at yourself. Exactly, it's inspiration. It makes you reflect on yourself. Like, what am I doing, right? And so, like, it made me like, okay, so if he's doing this, how can I get there? I need to get there. I need to do this and this and this. So I started did the first thing, and then I did the second, and it started adding up. And that's just really how it actually made me move, and that's why I like your story is one of my favorites. But
and we'll put it on the podcast. You guys can go to the links and watch Steve Harvey.
We have more upcoming episodes to go.
Yeah,
like he was featured on Steve Harvey, so you can go watch that.
We'll put the link to Steve Harvey. Put the docu piece. There's the TED Talk is called "Surviving Your Cancer." It's not about cancer, the disease. Surviving your cancer is not the disease. Surviving your cancer is what in your life is like my cancer. What distracts you, destroys you, and takes your dreams away.
Definitely. And
so we all have that. Now, when I asked Ty, when you heard you heard me speak. What did it make you?
All right, so here's your story for me. Usually when I hear people's stories, I go on the path with them, right? And that's the only main part of how I can really like understand the story is if I can see it.
Okay.
So you definitely took me there, and then when you started talking about cancer and you pulled up your picture and you was like skinny, like really hella skinny, I was like, oh wow. So then I felt that and I was like, oh, this is a real deal. So then I paid attention. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, he went through all this. And then I looked at you now, you got, like, muscles and all. Yeah, you got, like, all this. So I saw that you went and came a long way. So I'm like, all right, cool. I felt like I just went through the journey with you. Almost like I experienced. So it gave me that experience. So I felt like now I had that inside of me. So I kind of it changed the perspective of my life. Ultimately, and just interacting with everybody here, but just your particular story, I saw the experience of me being like, you know, skinny dude or whatever, and then like where you at now, growing like where you at. So that's what I did. 100%.
And
that's my
and I appreciate that because when he heard me, I wasn't there to talk about cancer. I was there to give a speech. So I was speaking, I believe, at Toastmasters, and I had a specific topic. But the reason I show the picture, and the reason is because exactly what they both said. Again, you got to figure out a way to engage your audience. And for me, my story is so powerful, even to me, every single day. It makes me get out of bed. I don't take any day for granted. That is the way that God has shown me how to engage people. And then from there, I can take you into any journey. I can take you into my business background. I can take you into my my inspiration background. I can take you into just motivation or whatever inspiration. But the thing about it is that you have your own story. And when I teach business people about the art of sharing your story, is you got to figure out your story to engage everyone. And after you engage everyone, then you can teach them, then you can inspire them. Exactly. You can take them everywhere. You know, I remember Ty coming up and talking at the first Toastmasters, and he went in and just said boom, 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 and he waited on everybody to engage. And after everybody engaged, then he started speaking. Right. He's learned, and I guess you've learned this from doing it so many times and stepping out on faith, is that you capture the room by just standing up there. People are waiting on you to deliver a message. So if you don't have anything to say or anything to engage, basically it just becomes empty space. Definitely. So you got to make sure that you first find whatever it is in your life that is so like a niche that you can engage an audience. It could be from an athlete point of view. It could be from someone like Ty that's like, listen, I'm being me. I'm unique. I'm created to be amazing and wonderfully made, and I'm this it. I'm gonna do me, and that's fine. And he'll get there. But he's found out a way how to, hey, I got you, and then after I got you, I wait. And you see him wait. And after he gets everybody's attention, then he talks. Brandon has a different way, right? But he asked everybody, how can I be of service? What can I do for you? Listen, who are you? What do you do? I want to know. So it might be something that I want to do. And maybe you're in my life for that. Yeah. He's not scared of asking. See what I'm saying? Not scared, going after it, believing. In my case, listen, I thought I had my life made. I thought I was everything. I was, I don't want to say cocky, conceited, but I felt like, man, everything I worked for, I achieved. And then all of a sudden, here comes God, like knocking on my door. And you really? You think you did this by yourself?
That's crazy, bro.
Okay, let me show you now. Okay, now what are you gonna do now? And that's where he then imagine, think about this. And flu season. Imagine you have the flu, and you can't get out of bed, right? Imagine that. But all of a sudden, something lifts you up and tells you go to the gym and work out, or go walk around the couch.
Turn a vegetarian.
Or go eat. Or go eat. Yeah. Or go do something. And you don't want to get out of bed. So that's the best way I can give you guys what it felt like to be 124 pounds. To be weak, to be tired, to be sick, to be in pain, to feel like everything inside of you is on fire, to have blisters everywhere in your body, to not want to eat, everything hurts, to not taste food. You get me? Yet, something inside of me said, get up, because you still have something to do. Get that? You still have something to do. In other words, God can't create a miracle if you don't do your part.
You don't let him.
Okay? Because I love when people say, and you probably heard this before, I pray and pray and pray and God's going to show up. Yeah, but you're still at home. You're not making phone calls. You're not showing up in front of people. How are you going to get a job if you're sitting at home and not doing anything? How are you going to meet your soulmate if you're not actually meeting people? How are you going to, I'm just giving you analogies, but it's the truth. See, God was doing his part. He showed me one doctor that said, I'm going to take your case. And then all of a sudden, here comes David and said, what am I going to do? So it took me about 2 rounds of chemo. By my 3rd round, I'm like, okay, God, I see you. I lived past 3 days. I lived past 3 weeks. I'm still alive. The doctor's doing his part. My parents are doing theirs. The gyms are going crazy, doing fundraisers and things for me. Now, what the hell am I supposed to do? And that's when you ask that question, get ready to work. So when you're in whatever season of your life that you're going right now, and you say, God, what am I supposed to do? Get ready, because the answer is there. But then, are you willing to go after it? Are you willing to get up? Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to ask? Are you willing to step out on faith and be you? That's the question you got to ask yourself, because the answer is there. God, I tell you, God is always talking. Are you listening? That's the problem. And when I learned how to listen, that's when I was like, oh, now I'm getting some answers. Now I see where my life is going. And now I'm committed to living this life. And he's been around me long enough. My message doesn't change. Does it?
Nope.
He's been around me a couple times already. My message doesn't change. So what is yours? Find out. Hey, I would be excited. Be excited through the challenges. Like we said, like Ty said earlier, man, look for that blessing. Go after it. Go look for that blessing. So anyway, I'm so blessed.
I'm so blessed and grateful.
Amen.
Grateful. I think that's the real big
Thankful,
word.
grateful.
And grateful.
That's the word of the day. Grateful.
Grateful.
And I started with that.
Every day.
Start your day being grateful, man.
Yeah.
Be thankful for what you have.
Grateful.
I was watching The Secret, you know the movie The Secret, and there's something called the gratitude rock.
Yes.
Where like you every morning you put it in your pocket, and at the end of the day, you know how you empty your pockets. Every time you put that rock down, you recognize that every time you touch the rock, you show a piece of gratitude. Like, what are you grateful for? Sorry, and then like that's every day. So like whenever you take it out of your pockets, you say what you're grateful for, like out loud.
It's symbolism. I mean, you're finding out something that's reminding you that you're still alive. See, to me, pain means I'm still alive. You know, a lot of people don't know that, but I have neuropathy. I have, joint issues. I have 1 kidney. They removed my lymph nodes. They removed a bunch of stuff out of me, and I'm still here. But I work out every day, because if I don't, I'm in more pain. It's interesting. I have to work out to get sore, because if I don't work out, I'm in pain, because my joints and because of chemo and everything that I went through. But again, it's the pain that tells me I'm alive. the pain that tells me, hey, I'm still here. So just work. You find ways, man. Or women, you just find ways of how to overcome things. But you just can't give power to what's not happening or not working. That's what I mean by that. You can't give power to that. Give power to gratefulness. Give power to the fact that you're doing something with your life. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. He found a way without a car to get somewhere. You know what I'm saying? This is meant to happen. What's the title of this again?
It all happened.
It all happens for a reason. So I'm still alive to talk to you today, and I hope one person gets this message. And listen, please this is not my podcast. This is my two boys, my two men right here, my two brothers, and this is their podcast. This is the number one podcast right now because the first one is going to be growing. And here's the thing: share it, like it. If you get one thing out of this, share it, because all it takes is one person that can become who knows what. Who knows what that one person by this inspirational message can become? Who knows who's going to live a better life because of it? Who knows who's going through cancer right now or going through some kind of addiction or some kind of abuse and listens to this and say, you know what? I want to live my life. I still got purpose. Like Ty says, I'm unique. I'm great. I'm wonderfully made. Yep. I'm ready to go do this. Okay?
Boom.
This is awesome.
Yeah,
we can go all day.
We can't. No, but bro, we got more content, and I'm sorry we went a lot over time. But guess what? We're giving you value this entire time.
We're gonna get out of here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Hey, follow me, Brandon the Visionary, Wealthy Vibes Ty handle
at David Octavio Gandell.
At David Octavio Gandell. One more time, that's Brandon the Visionary, Wealthy Vibes Ty, and David Octavio Gandell. Appreciate you guys. Till next time, we love you. We love you.
Great guys.
Take action.
Yeah.